Honda really didn't care to upgrade this motorcycle ever since it was launched in India, that is 2019. So I made it myself. I'd like to call this as the CBR 650R version 2 because I have done so much of mods that this motorcycle will be doing justice to the V2. Before we dig into the details of it, let me just browse through the mods. A full system Acra Provich exhaust, DNA air filter, PowerTRONIC ECU which can give around 105 bhp, a quick shifter and a new paint scheme. What's up YouTube, welcome back to another video on this channel, and yes, today it's our own bike, the Honda CBR 650R, and this is the version 2 of it. Actually, when I changed the paint job of this motorcycle, I like to call it as the version 2 itself, but I was thinking that yes, something was missing, and yes, I successfully added it to this motorcycle. As I mentioned previously, I have done quite a lot of mods on this motorcycle and a little bit disappointed that Honda is not doing anything on this motorcycle except the paint scheme. So ever since it was launched in 2019, Honda was giving color upgrades and of course price upgrades as well, which is good for Honda, and of course people like me getting benefited because the resale value of the motorcycle is also going high. So what I thought is I'll totally change this motorcycle to my liking. So let me just walk through the life of the CBR 650R where I got to this point. So the first modification which I did on this motorcycle was the DNA air filter. I put the air filter because the stock air filter was too thick and it was not allowing that mid-range to open up. Yes, of course it is a little risky to have a little more perforated air filter. The only thing is, if the stock air filter has to be serviced once in 6,000 kilometers, this has to be cleaned in 3,000 kilometers in Indian ride conditions, and of course the DNA air filter will give you a life of 1 lakh kilometer and all. So there is no replacement. I have to take it out and clean it once in 3,000 kilometers. And the second mod which I did on the motorcycle was a quick shifter, because I was touring a lot and then I thought that I need a quick shifter because that's one thing which irritates me a lot on busy highways. I won't be able to add an auto blipper to it, so just a quick shifter. It is a part from the CB1000R and it was a direct fit. The coupler was working and I didn't had any complication except that I had to tune a little bit to my liking. That's all. The third one was the Acra Provich full system exhaust. That actually gave me a bump of around 5 bhp and roughly around 2 to 3 newton meters of torque. I have done a separate video about my exhaust. You can go and watch it if you are exclusively looking for a CBR 650R exhaust video. But yeah, after doing that mod, I was like, yes, I need something else as well because the feel of the motorcycle was pretty much the same after doing that mod as well. So I thought I'll go for a different paint job, and 100% sure that Honda will be able to do a better paint job than me. But I did it. I wanted a gloss black thing. The advantage of having a gloss black is any day this is sexy. The disadvantage is that's one day where you clean the motorcycle, because the day after that it gets dusty and that color starts fading. So it's pretty difficult to manage a gloss black motorcycle, but I just really love this motorcycle. I'm just falling in love with the motorcycle and I wanted a stock touch of that gloss black to it. That's why I have very simple graphics over there, the CBR 650R and a Honda logo over there. That's all, pretty basic. And the final mod, the PowerTRONIC ECU, that's the latest one which I've done. So let's talk about that a little more and dig deep into it, how you can also do it on your motorcycle if you have a CBR 650R or any other motorcycle. Let's start riding and talk about it. Alright, we are on main road now. I don't know whether you have noticed the difference. This motorcycle has started pulling crazy. So let's talk about the core of this video, which is the power modification which I have done on the motorcycle. So yes, I have installed a piggyback ECU from Race Dynamics, which is the PowerTRONIC's version 4. So I'll tell you why I did this first of all. Because when I got this motorcycle was actually detuned for Indian market. So when I changed the air filter itself, then this was giving a little bit of better pickup. That lag was gone, but I was feeling that the motorcycle is not pulling that hard. So then I was thinking about an ECU remap or a piggyback ECU and all. Finally I thought that I'll go with the PowerTRONIC ECU, which is actually a piggyback ECU. So if you don't know what is the difference between a normal ECU and a piggyback ECU, so the stock ECU on the motorcycle will tell the motorcycle, will instruct how much air fuel mixture to go and the ignition timing and all. So when there is a piggyback ECU, the piggyback ECU will send a manipulated information to the stock ECU telling that the motorcycle needs a little more air fuel mixture or a different ignition timing and all. So that's how you increase the power of a motorcycle. You don't have to bore, you don't have to do anything else. You can actually manipulate the data going into the stock ECU. You can extract the max out of any engine. Basically the stock engine generally will be running on a lean map, so we are actually providing the engine a little more rich map. So through the PowerTRONIC ECU I have two maps here. This is actually the map switch, not something like what you see in the Doom movie and all, where you press this button, the nitro engages in and it pulls crazy. This is not something like that. So the one good part of having a piggyback ECU is that you can disconnect it anytime and have it stock running, so it has a stock coupler as well. So with this race map 2, what I'm getting is around 90 bhp on the wheel. So 90 bhp on the wheel means, let's assume a drop of 10 to 15% from the crank. So on the crank it is 105 bhp. So 90 on the wheel and 105 on the crank. So that's something different. Even if I assume that there is a 10% of a drop in power from the crank, then also it is more than 100 bhp, which is actually more than enough for my use for now. So that's what I told. This motorcycle has changed its character a little bit more towards the Duke 790 and all. So when I was thinking about having a fuel supplement for my motorcycle, there are actually two methods to go for it. So one is like having a piggyback ECU like the PowerTRONIC, or something called as a FuelX. So the FuelX is kind of a refinement tool for the motorcycle. So I've used the FuelX on multiple motorcycles like the Himalayan, the Adventure 390, the Mojos and all. Oh, we have an open road here. Yeah, I was talking about the FuelX. So the FuelX is something like an auto tune, which helps the engine to run much smoother. When I used it on the Mojo and all, I feel like the fueling is much more predictable. There is no lag on the throttle, so it makes the motorcycle a little more easy to ride. And of course, if you are someone who is going to Ladakh and those kind of places where there is less oxygen and all, you actually need a little bit of auto tuning. So the FuelX is used for that. That's why I thought I'll go for a PowerTRONIC than a FuelX. So it was more than a work day for me, because there was no other CBR 650R map which was available with Race Dynamics when I went there. So actually I went for 2 days and we actually came up with a nice map where the power and the torque figures are really nice. So if you are someone who is planning to go there, don't worry, you don't have to go through all the process which I have gone. So it's just a half-an-hour job. So the process is like, first you do the stock condition dyno, then you take the signals from the bike and then make the harness, program the piggyback ECU and install it. That's all. So now I have done it for the CBR 650R and the map is available. Altogether I feel that this motorcycle is now more than enough for me to give me a juice for the next 2 to 3 years, because this motorcycle is actually very dear to me. I don't want to sell this motorcycle. So personally I have checked it with few people who already runs on the PowerTRONIC ECU. Of course the CBR 650F guys, so they are actually happy about it. The only one thing is like, of course you have to do the regular maintenance and have a check on your engine oil level and the coolant level and all, and until now they didn't had any problem. Even I have tested it as well. This is definitely not the day one after installing the PowerTRONIC. I've been using this motorcycle for around 2 weeks in the Power Map 1 and the 2, and what I observed is that there is no change in heating and all, but still I'll be keeping an eye on the heat level indicator and the coolant level and all. So the motorcycle is as cool as running the same it was, but yes, it has unlocked the beast mode. Now I have the torque on all the power bands, so that lag has been gone. This was a major drawback when this motorcycle was compared to the Z900. I still don't say that this motorcycle is more powerful than the Z900, but this has now got some juice. It won't be definitely falling off for a drag race, that I'm sure for it. Actually the map 2 is the most aggressive form of the map, in the sense this gives you the best power and the torque output on the motorcycle. So basically I don't ride it always on the edge all the time. So I might be riding chill sometimes and I don't want that much of an outrageous power from my motorcycle all the time. So I have map 1, which is a little toned down version of the map 2, but still better than a stock version. So that's the video on the CBR 650R version 2. And if you have any doubts about the mods on the motorcycle, do let me know in the comment section. And if you would like to know a little more details about the PowerTRONIC ECU or the FuelX, you can actually let me know. Yes, PowerTRONIC is in this one, and the FuelX, most probably I'll go for a FuelX on my RC390, my track bike. So in that way I can give you an update of how to do the power mods. So only one request I have to you is that if you're a new user of the bike, just ride it for some time. Just don't believe that adding all the things on your motorcycle will make you a better rider and all. Take your time, enjoy your motorcycle, then take steps one by one. That's what I actually did. I bought the motorcycle, then installed the quick shifter, and ran for around 5k kilometers, then the Accra, around again 5k more kilometers, then I installed the ECU now. So I know for each stage what was the update given. So if you overwhelm yourself with all the mods on your motorcycle, that too in the initial days, you won't get to feel what is the stock bike. So people might tell different things to you, that hey, the power is not good, the torque is not good and all. Experience it yourself. Maybe the power is enough for you. You don't have to go for anything else. But the thing is, just experience your brand new motorcycle and then start doing modification. All these things are safe if you know what you're doing. So I hope this video is helpful for you, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.